Have you ever wondered how long you could survive without food? We live in a world where food is often just a few steps away, but what happens when it's not so readily available? Welcome to a journey into the fascinating world of fasting and survival. You've seen it on survival shows, contestants, stranded in the middle of nowhere, going days without a morsel of food. It's a test of endurance, of will, and of the human body's remarkable ability to adapt to extreme circumstances. But what's really happening inside our bodies when we're deprived of food? How does the human body, a complex machine that requires fuel to function, keep going when that fuel is scarce? It turns out, we're equipped with intricate mechanisms that allow us to survive without food for a certain period. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for an enlightening exploration into the science of survival. In this video, we aim to understand the science behind fasting and survival. To understand fasting, you first need to know how our bodies process food. So, let's bring the science into our picture. When you eat, your body works like a well-oiled machine to break down the food into its basic components. Carbohydrates, for instance, are broken down into glucose, the body's primary source of energy. This glucose is either used immediately for energy or stored in your liver and muscles as glycogen for later use. Imagine glycogen as your body's backup battery. When you're not eating, like during sleep or between meals, your body taps into these glycogen reserves to keep you energized. It's like having a spare petrol can in your car for those long road trips when fuel stations are miles apart. But what happens when your glycogen reserves run dry? That's where fasting comes into play. Fasting is essentially a metabolic state where your body has exhausted its glycogen reserves and needs to find an alternative source of energy. Now, this doesn't mean your body is going to shut down and leave you stranded. On the contrary, it's a testament to our body's remarkable ability to adapt and survive. When glycogen reserves are depleted, your body switches gears and starts looking for other sources of fuel. It's like switching from petrol to electric power in a hybrid car. Your body begins to metabolize stored fats, converting them into usable energy. It's a survival mechanism that's been hardwired into our DNA from the time our ancestors roamed the earth, hunting and gathering food. But remember, while this metabolic switch is a natural response, it's not meant to be a long-term solution. Your body needs a balanced diet to function optimally. Fasting can be a useful tool for weight loss or detoxification when done correctly, but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. So, when the body runs out of glycogen, it starts looking for other sources of energy. And that, my friends, is the science of fasting in a nutshell. The body is not left helpless when glycogen reserves deplete. When the fuel from your last meal runs out, your body doesn't just throw in the towel. In fact, it has an ace up its sleeve, the ability to convert stored fats and proteins into energy. Let's delve into this remarkable process. First, we have fats. Fats are essentially long-term energy reserves stored in special cells known as adipocytes. When the body needs energy, these fat cells release fatty acids into the bloodstream. These fatty acids then travel to the liver, where they undergo a process known as beta oxidation. This process breaks down the fatty acids into smaller units called ketone bodies, a process we refer to as ketosis. Ketosis is a bit of a superstar in the world of fasting and dieting. It's the state where your body primarily burns fat for fuel, making it an effective way to lose weight. But it's not just about shedding pounds. Ketosis also plays a vital role in brain function, providing up to 70% of the brain's energy needs when glucose is in short supply. Now let's move on to proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of the body, essential for growth, repair, and overall maintenance. During a fast, your body is reluctant to use proteins for energy. After all, it's like burning your furniture to heat your house. It's not the first choice, but it's an option if the situation becomes dire enough. When the body eventually turns to proteins for energy, it breaks them down into their constituent amino acids. These amino acids can then be converted into glucose through a process known as gluconeogenesis. But remember, this is a last resort. Your body prefers to keep proteins for their primary role, maintaining and repairing the body's tissues. As you can see, the body has a fascinating way of ensuring its survival. It's a complex yet beautifully orchestrated system designed to keep you going when food is scarce. So the next time you skip a meal, remember, your body's got your back. While the body can adapt to periods without food, prolonged fasting can have serious consequences. Let's delve into the darker side of going without sustenance for extended periods. First up, malnutrition. We often associate this term with images of individuals in famine-stricken regions, but it essentially means a lack of necessary nutrients the body needs to function optimally. When you fast for an extended period, your body is deprived of essential vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients it needs. This can lead to deficiencies that manifest in various ways, such as fatigue, dizziness, and even hair loss. Next, let's talk about the immune system. This complex network of cells, tissues, and organs is our body's first line of defense against disease and infection. However, prolonged fasting can weaken this defense system. Without adequate nutrients, the immune system struggles to produce the white blood cells that combat foreign invaders, leaving you more susceptible to illnesses. Then there's the risk of organ failure. When the body is deprived of energy from food for a long time, it starts to break down its own tissues for fuel. Initially, it targets fat reserves, but as these dwindle, it turns to muscle tissue and eventually vital organs. This can lead to serious conditions such as heart failure, kidney failure, or liver damage. Speaking of muscle tissue, let's touch on muscle loss. Your body requires protein to build and repair muscle. When you're fasting, especially for a prolonged period, the body doesn't get enough protein, so it starts to break down muscle tissue to get the energy it needs. This can result in significant muscle loss, which can affect your strength and overall health. In essence, prolonged fasting is a bit like playing with fire. It might seem like a quick way to lose weight or detox, but the risks far outweigh the benefits. It's crucial to approach fasting with caution and under the guidance of a healthcare professional to avoid these potential pitfalls. It's clear that while our bodies are equipped to handle short-term fasting, prolonged fasting can be harmful. Let's recap what we've learned about fasting and survival. We've delved into the fascinating science of fasting, understanding how the human body, in its remarkable resilience, turns to the stored glucose and glycogen for energy when food intake is reduced. We've also illuminated how, once these reserves are depleted, the body smartly switches gears to fats and proteins, ensuring our survival. However, it's important to remember that this is a survival mechanism, not a lifestyle choice. Prolonged fasting, while it might sound like an extreme path to health and weight loss, is not without its dangers. It can lead to a host of health issues, including nutrient deficiencies, muscle loss, and even organ failure. So, while we can go without food for a while, it's not something we should try to test. Our bodies are incredible machines, but they also require fuel to function optimally. Remember, fasting is a tool, not a punishment. So, how long can we survive without food? The answer isn't straightforward. The human body is a complex machine designed to adapt to a variety of conditions. When it comes to surviving without food, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. The duration someone can survive without food depends on a myriad of factors, including body fat, general health, and hydration levels. Body fat, for instance, serves as an energy reserve. When food intake is scarce, the body starts to burn these fat reserves to keep functioning. So in theory, the more body fat you have, the longer you could potentially survive without food. But remember, this is survival mode, not thriving mode. General health is another crucial factor. A healthy individual might be able to endure a lack of food better than someone with an existing health condition. If your body is already fighting an illness or dealing with chronic health issues, fasting for extended periods could put additional stress on it, leading to further complications. Hydration, too, plays a significant role. While the body can switch to burning fat for energy, it can't produce water. Dehydration can set in quickly, and without adequate water intake, even the healthiest person can succumb within a few days. However, it's crucial to remember that just because the body can survive without food for a while, it doesn't mean it should. A balanced diet is essential for overall health. It provides the nutrients your body needs to function optimally, repair itself, and fight off diseases. Fasting can be a tool for specific health goals when done responsibly, but it should never replace a nutritious, balanced diet. In conclusion, our bodies are remarkable, adaptable machines, but they're not invincible. They need regular nourishment to keep us healthy and active. So, while it's fascinating to explore the limits of human endurance, it's always best to fuel our bodies with the nutrition they need. Stay healthy, and remember, knowledge is the key to better health.